Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about the 2024 new core Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition rule books. Actually, I should just say the new. So today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. We're going to talk about the new 2024 new core rule books. Okay, they were announced by Ray Winninger. We know 4 things about them. New version of Dungeons and Dragons, new evolution of Dungeons and Dragons, comes out in 2024, 100% compatible with all 5e books, right? Well, they're clearly not going to be compatible with the core rule books, so that's okay. We get that. That's a gimme, right? Okay. And basically, what I want to talk about today is what was the source of this decision. Okay. Now, first of all, I like to give credit where credit is due. I'm talking about this today, and I'm talking about the core rule books, the 2024 core rule books, the new Dungeons and Dragons 2024 core rule books that are coming out. They're not a new edition. They are not a new edition. They are a new version. A lot of people are thinking about them as 5.5. I can guarantee, I very strongly believe that it absolutely will not be a situation where it says 5.5 on the book. We did see 3.5 on the Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 books. These will not say 5.5 on them. Because first of all, the regular game doesn't say 5. They have never used the number 5 officially on any Dungeons & Dragons book, right? And in fact, it's so clear that they don't use the 5.0, the 5.0 on Dungeons & Dragons, that like 5e is used to tell people this is compatible with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, even though Dungeons & Dragons can't be written on the cover of the products that it's being used on. So like it's a really strong thing, right? So basically, so Sly Flourish did a great video on this, really went into it and did really great coverage of the Dungeons & Dragons 2024 core rulebooks. And he brought up this question. He's like, what is the source of this? Where did this come from? Brilliant question, right? And I'm going to answer it myself, right? But it's Sly Flourish's question. He already answered it on his channel. It's his last hourly, weekly talk, and he has like everything bracketed, and he does Sly Flourish is really brilliant. You should definitely check out his content if you're not watching it. He is probably, I actually think Sly Flourish is definitely top 10 thought leaders on Dungeons and Dragons today. He's really brilliant. All right, so basically let's talk about it. What is the source? So what do we mean by the source? Well, this decision to make brand new Dungeons and Dragons core 2024 new core rulebooks is absolutely massive. This is a massive decision. First of all, at minimum, right? I expect that this decision will produce anywhere from $5 to $50 million for Dungeons and Dragons. This decision alone for Dungeons and Dragons owners, Wizards of the Coast, and Hasbro. Okay, I don't think for 1 second this will make less than $5 million. It could make 100 million. Like it could equal 100 million, right? But it's definitely not going to be less than 5. Okay, because there's a lot of trapped players, a lot of trapped dungeon masters, and trapped players. I will have, based on the structure of my life, right? I will have no ability not to buy these day one, right? And so I will buy these day one, right? Even though they're a stab to my heart, and they make 3 books I have right now, I could throw them in a lake. They're worthless, right? Which is the current, PHB, MM, and DMG, right? All right. So what is the source? And he talked about it, and there's 3 likely sources, right? So from Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, right? And let's just talk about it at the Wizards of the Coast level, right? There's design. Okay, that is Ray Winninger. Okay, a lot of people like to squawk about like Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford as the design lead. First of all, I defy you to show me a single place where Wizards of the Coast identifies Jeremy Crawford as a design lead. He is not, right? It's Ray Winninger. It was Mike Mearls. Mike Mearls was not replaced by Jeremy Crawford. He was specifically replaced by Ray Winninger. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I ain't. You ain't going to be able to do it, I guarantee. Yeah, you will see, right? Okay. So and the reality is, I know a ton of work is done by Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford, right? But nothing they do can't be undone in a New York second by Ray Winninger. He's the real lead. He's the real buck stops here, right? And so basically, let's put it this way: Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford are individual contributors and their work is at the behest of Ray Winninger, and he can do a strike through on anything they're doing, right? Like, he can change it, right? And I would be surprised if he is doing that, right? So, that's certainly within his authority. All right. So, where did this decision come from, right? Did it come from the design team? Did it come from marketing, right? Just so you're aware, the marketing lead was on the D&D was on one of the follow-up videos to D&D Celebration. Did it come from marketing, from the marketing department of Wizards of the Coast, right? And last, did it come from the executive branch, right? So did it come from the executives, right? And I actually think the executives would not be in Wizards of the Coast. The executives would be at the Hasbro level, right? So did this come from a Hasbro executive saying, hey, we could use $5 to $100 million, give me a new edition, right? And I think that's probably what a Hasbro exec would be like. Hey, don't we make a crap ton of money every time we make a new edition? And I would bet, this is what I think happened, okay? Feelings, no facts, right? This is all what I think happened, right? Just purely in my humble opinion, right? I will bet that some Hasbro suit, right? And quite legitimately, there's a need because of the latte apocalypse we're currently in, right? Was like, we need money, right? Like, and it's not because Hasbro needs money. It's like every company in the world except Zoom needs money right now because we're in the latte apocalypse, right? So he's like, so what can we? And I've been looking at our books, and I remember 3rd and 4th edition, there were a crap ton of money flowed in, right? And so, so I think what probably happened is Ray Winninger probably earned his paycheck that week and said, we really can't do a new edition. We can do a new version, right? Like, we'll do like a 5.5. And he was right. If they do a new edition right now with the movie coming out, that would be an absolute travesty. It would be just a terrible, 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 terrible decision, right? And the second you do a new edition, you risk 4th edition. You risk an edition that could crack the game in half and sweep D&D into the ocean to be forgotten, eaten by the krakens of history, right? Like, because people don't realize, like, Dungeons & Dragons could have went out of business with 4th. It was widely hated, right? Like, so we got that there, okay? So what is the source, right? Was it the design team, the marketing team, the executive team? All right, let's talk about the design team. Heck to the no, right? Like, I think the design team, the design group definitely understands that the game needs changes, right? But the 3.5 books were so calamitous, right? And made the 3.0 books so worthless, right? That I think within Dungeons & Dragons design team, they understand that 3.5 was a absolutely brutal drag for all dungeon masters, DMs, and players. They're like, hey, remember that game you bought 2 years ago? It's trash. Here's a bunch of new books to replace it. And you're like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Right? So I think they understand that 3.5 was a massive mistake, right? And so I don't think they would do this. They would never, ever, ever be like, let's do 5.5. That's insanity, right? From a design team perspective, right? So that's my opinion. No on the design team. Marketing, right? How are marketing and execs different? Executives want sales. They want dollars in the bank, right? That's what they get paid for. That's what their job is to drive sales and revenue, okay? In my opinion, in my humble opinion, marketing actually cares about the brand, right? They want a big, powerful, prominent, famous, gleaming, shining brand, right? They are not going to care about a new version, right? Like they might have wanted a new edition, right? But overall, I think marketing, no. So here's the answer. I definitely think this was an executive decision. I absolutely think this, and that's why it sucks so bad. That's why it's going to be so painful. Now, I'm talking a lot of smack on Wizards of the Coast. Let me be super clear. Even with me thinking this is a horrible, horrible decision, I still love D&D. I'm still here for it, and I will be first in line for these horrible new books. So just be clear. Just don't change my love for D&D. Basically, it's like a friend who does something that you help them bury stuff, right? It's how it is, right? So, so that's my take. What do you think? What do you think was the genesis of this new version? Do you think it came from the design team, the marketing team, or the executive team? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. And I would like you to have a very, very wonderful millennium.